Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today we're going to be doing pot roast, and I'm going to show you there's a couple of steps that we need to do before we take this over to the stove, so I'm going to do it now. Now, as you can see, I have a pot roast here, and this was at my local grocery store. You buy the pot roast, you get the potatoes, the carrots, and the onions for free. So, and that was 5 pounds of potatoes, 5 pounds of carrots, and 5 pounds of onions. So I think that was a very good deal. So I decided to show you how to do this. If you can look at this pot roast, it's always best to get pot roast where you see your fat is running through it, because it cooks, the fat acts as a tenderizer, and it makes it much easier for cooking, and it's a better taste to it, and your pot roast is very soft and delectable when you do it, when you get it with the marble running through it. So we're going to add the seasonings, and then we're going to go over to the stove. Now, I like Worcestershire sauce when it comes to cooking beef. I always use this on my beef pretty much all of the time. Now, I have some seasonings here. We have some smoked paprika. And I don't know how many people are familiar with smoked paprika, but it has a very good taste on beef. So we're going to put this on our beef. And I'm just going to show you what your smoked paprika looks like. This is what it comes in. It looks like this. It's smoked paprika, not your regular paprika. It has a smoky, bacony type smell to it, and the same thing when it comes to flavor. To that, I'm going to add some roasted onions and some thyme on both sides of my pot roast. And I want to make sure that I get it all over the pot roast. Now to that, I'm going to add some fire roasted tomatoes to it as well. And I'm planting it down over in my pot roast. Wherever you see a little opening at on your roast, or you can just make a little opening, just plant it down in your pot roast. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper and crushed red pepper, okay, on both sides. Now, this is ready to go to the stove. Also, this is fire roasted tomatoes. If you're not familiar with this, it's good to get this from your grocers as well. This is just a tomatoey type flavor, but it has a sweetness to it. Now, this is prepared to go, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leftover spices that I had, because they were pre-measured at a half a teaspoon a piece. So I'm going to add this to the container, and I'm going to add just some salt to my roast. Okay. Now, I'm going to wash my hands out here. Then I'm going to place it back into the container that it was actually purchased in, and I did wash it out. And I'm going to take this over to the stove. So, along with these spices. So, let's go over to the stove. Alright. Now, we're at the stove area, and for the sake of time, I've already started to saute some onions. Now, I'm going to cut it up just a little bit. Now, to my sauteed onions, this was like 1 teaspoon of oil and the onions, basically, and that was it. And as you can see, they've already started to saute up. I'm going to add some diced or chopped red pepper. This is from the bell pepper family. So you know you get the red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper. This is the red one. And what it does is it has a sweet, savory type taste to it. And I really do like it. To that, I'm going to add some minced garlic. And the reason you see the steam is because I had some juices from the minced garlic, and I just added them as well. Now, And it has a very good aroma coming from the pan. Now, the leftover seasonings that you saw me use on the other side, I'm just going to take them and put them in here. Now, let me tell you something about pot roast. Okay, pot roast is good with just garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. If that's all you have, then that's what you use. But as you branch out into your seasonings and you branch out into the different things you put in, like the red pepper, it's going to make it even, it's going to enhance the flavor. Let's put it like that. So I'm going to take this out. I was going to go and get a different spoon, but we'll just go on because all of it's going to go back in there anyway. So, I'm going to take out as much as I can get out. Okay. Okay, now the few little pieces that you see down in there, it really won't make a difference. Now, there's a little bit of oil that's still in the bottom of my pan, and there's a little bit of the chopped up vegetables that I used, and of course you can see the minced garlic. So to that, I'm going to take my pot roast and I'm going to place it in here. Okay? Now, why am I placing the pot roast inside of that pan? Because I need it to brown. And I want to just brown it on one side and then brown it on the other side. Now, since this pot roast came with, clean up some of the things, it came with the potatoes and the carrots and the onions, guess what's going to be around this pot roast? The potatoes, the carrots, and the onions. Okay, so we're going to let this brown on this side for a little while. And as you can see, my stove is pretty busy today because I'm doing a lot of things. But we're going to let this brown on one side, and then we're going to flip it, and we're going to brown it on the other side. Now, we're not going to put the carrots and, we've already used the onion, but we're not going to put the carrots and the potatoes in yet. We're going to wait until this is halfway through the cooking, and then we're going to add those extra pieces. Now, I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to flip this over for you, put my seasonings back on top, put a little bit of water in here, put the top on it, put it in the oven at 350 degrees for roughly about an hour to an hour and a half. And I guarantee you, when I take this pot roast out, I'm going to let you see it. This meat will be able to fall away from itself. So when I pull it, it should fall away. And that lets you know that your meat is really, really tender. Now let's see if we can flip this over. Okay. There you go. And that's how I want that side to look. Okay? So I'm going to step away and get some water. And I'll be right back. Placed in here. On top, I'm just going to put my vegetables back. Because what I want to happen is I want all of the flavors from my vegetables to go down into my roast. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, it doesn't matter about the little side still being red because that's going to go off in the cooking process. But I did want some color on the top of my roast. Okay? So, I'm going to give this a couple more minutes. Then I'm going to add some water. Place it in my oven like I told you on 350. When this gets close to finishing, I'm going to come back and put the potatoes and the carrots around it. And I'll let you see that. All right, the pot roast is done, so let's just take a look at it. I've already taken it out of the oven, and I didn't come back when I put the potatoes and carrots around, because it's just putting potatoes and carrots around. But what I do want to do is to show you how this meat just pulls apart. See that? That means that this meat is very tender and it's very juicy, as you can see. Okay? So this is our chuck pot roast, and of course, you know, I got the potatoes and the carrots for free. And as always, I just want to say thank you for watching Chris Cook for YouTube. Bye.